Hello and welcome to another Figuring Out Japan video. We sell all the coolest Japanese collectibles and figurines straight out of Japan, and you can find out more details about us in the description of this video, including our eBay store and our Facebook page, as well as other links to videos of figurines in this series. So today we're going to be reviewing the Perfect Cell Banpresto figure, which was released way back in, I think, 2011. And this was actually part of the very first series of the Tenkaichi Budokai series. So this year there was Series 5, which a lot of you have probably bought, which was the Raditz, Nappa, Second Stage Cell, Super Saiyan Vegeta, Super Saiyan Goku, and Bardock. But this one is way back from Series 1, which is actually very popular series. There were some really good figures actually released in this particular line, and I actually have a couple handy that I can show you. So there was the Vegeta. This was in Series 1, and Piccolo was also from Series 1. Piccolo actually won the voting for the best figure in this particular line. And the Saiyan Gohan. And there was also a Super Saiyan 3 Goku released in this figure, which is this line, which was one of my favorite figures. I do have it around here somewhere, but not handy at the moment. So yeah, so back onto this. I might actually show you the box first. The box was actually quite big in this series. It's 200 millimeters by 170 millimeters. It's a pretty big box. But it's the same size as all the ones in this particular series. So if you see any of this design, you'll know that it was a Series 1 release. And these were the figures released in this line. So the ones I showed you before was the Vegeta, the Piccolo, and the Saiyan Gohan. And then obviously we've got Perfect Cell here. There's also Android 16 and Dr. Gero release. You can make a bit of an Androids display. And there was also Hawaiian Goku and that Super Saiyan 3 Goku one I mentioned. The other two are actually Ichiban Kujis, so they weren't available through Crane Games. They're actually available through lotteries. And I probably reviewed all of the figures in this line now except for the Goku, Gero, and 16. I don't think I've reviewed those two either. We have sold them, but even the Kujis I've reviewed. And I should mention as well, the sculptor here, Saito Hiro, he's actually, I mean, it's not like he's a superstar or famous, but he has actually done some really good molds for Banpresto. He's actually did the Eustace Kid, which is about to be released in Japan in one piece, which looks really cool. He also did the Zoro that was released last year, one of my favorite figures as well. So he has made some really top figures over the years, and that's how this whole sort of Tenkaichi Budokai thing, which means World Tournament or Strongest Under Heaven, that's how it all started. They got some of the best, of their some of the best molders and asked them to make figures, and then it was all sort of voted. Fans could vote, people could vote which one they liked the best, and I guess it was popular, so they've kept going. Now this was the 5th year, and they've confirmed that they will be releasing more figures next year. I feel though generally the Android saga has been underrepresented in general. There still hasn't been a decent figure of Android 17 released. We had one of Android 18 in Series 3. But it's good that in this series we had Android 16 and Dr. Gero released as well. Never had one in Android 19, but actually the Owen Toy in the West, outside of Japan, actually released some really good figures. And they did actually release a Perfect Cell as well that came with the cool little Cell Junior. I actually have that figure. It's not with me in Japan, but I still have it. Really nice figure. So I think I've shown you, what the figure looks like. In terms of what my thoughts are on this figure, the first thing I'll point out is it's actually really big. This figure is actually really tall. If I put a ruler next to it, so this ruler is about 150 mil, and it's 6 inches. So you can see how much taller he goes again. So he's actually about 240 millimeters or 24 centimeters and about 10 inches. So he's pretty, it keeps going dark. So he's pretty big. And just as a comparison for size to show you, I know a lot of you have probably bought the Series 5, some of the Series 5 figures. If I compare Raditz to Cell, you can see the size difference. I mean, he's like, maybe just gets up to his waist. So he is a very tall figure. Android 16 is actually also quite big. He's very tall. Which I'm not saying is bad. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just sort of noting that. I actually think Cell looks really good displayed with the Master Stars piece, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. I don't think I have one handy here at the moment, but that figure, I have reviewed it. I'll put a link in the description of this one. That actually, they're similar size. They would look really good together, and that is an awesome figure as well, the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, so you could make that really cool display. In terms of the sculpt job with this figure, I think the sculpt job is really good. I mean, you can see he's obviously got like his pattern along here. You've also got like the sort of knee cups and the knee pads and things like that. And he's got his feet, the wings. I mean, it's pretty much everything that you kind of need. And these sort of fleshy, insecty bits. So it's pretty good. And obviously a nice sculpt job of him sort of powering up and yelling. Looks pretty sort of mean. Now this one actually has it sort of curving in a bit, but these bits are actually a bit flexible. You can see you can move them a little bit, so I think just the way it's been stored over time, it's kind of bent them down a little bit, but I don't think they're meant to look like that. They're kind of meant to be straight, but I kind of actually like how it curves in like that. The only thing I don't really like about this figure is I feel that it's kind of a little bit too dark. I think the colouring, I don't know, maybe it's... I often talk about the paint jobs that Banpresto do. I often feel they sometimes get the shading or the toning of the figure a little bit wrong, but I don't know, I'd have to have a look at a picture of Cell again, but from the show, but from my memory, he was a little bit lighter in the show. It was a little bit more of a, I wouldn't say fluoro green, but it was more of a lighter green, whereas this one just seems to be quite dark. And even his face, like these are meant to be purple and yellow and white, and instead they're really like a sort of grey and a kind of very sort of almost orange really, and then the purple's kind of almost a black. So I actually say this a lot, so maybe this is just me personally, but I feel that they've used a very dark tone than the original. I don't think it's wrong, I don't think it's bad, but yeah, it's probably just a little bit darker. But other than that, it's really nice and shiny. I really like the paint that they use there, and overall I think it looks really good. And if you like Cell, they actually released a second stage Cell in the Series 5. So Series 1, that's Series 5, and if you really are a big fan of Cell, you could put them together. And if you wanted an imperfect Cell, there is an imperfect Cell that was released in the Creatures line, which are very highly detailed figures. They look really cool. We have them for sale as well. So you could easily make the three forms of the Cell. But anyway, that's the Series 1 Tenkaichi Budokai SCultures Perfect Cell released by Banpresto in 2011. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video.